Okay, I'm using something new today called Restream, and we'll see how we like it. Uh, you ever wonder why you're constantly tired? You're eating more to give yourself energy, eating healthier, you're getting more sleep, you're trying to relax, you're trying to, take more time for you, more self care, and nothing seems to be working. Oh, Sarah, it's my genetics. I have a condition, or it's my children. I have they drive me crazy, and it's just impossible to get my energy back. Or Sarah, I'm just not the young spring chicken anymore. It's not true. There's more than one reason why you're exhausted. You're more than just your physical body. You are more than just these things that affect your sleep, your energy, your aliveness, your vitality, just your buoyancy. We're going to talk about a few of those things today because sometimes it's not what we think. And we're actually going to talk about the part of you that isn't being healed or given energy at all. We always think, oh, it's my body. I need to fuel my body more. I need to rest more. I need to just take care of me more. And that's all well and good. Please continue that. Please continue to do that more. Hey, Linda. It is absolutely necessary, of course. But what we're forgetting is our spirit, our soul. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care who your higher power is. What we're forgetting is our soul, the energy within us that existed before we came to this planet and the energy that leaves after we pass on. And no matter what, that is what makes you you. And if you don't nourish that, if you aren't healing it, helping it grow, giving it the necessary nutrients or things it needs, your spirit cannot rest. It can't heal. It can't gain the energy back that it needs. So how are you going to do this? I'm going to give you six things, depending if you sign or not, about how you can rest, nourish, and heal your spirit, no matter what your faith is, because I bet you that is what you're missing. That is what you're missing. You can have a flock full of children, or more than one, you're working 60 hours a week, or you're exercising and you're doing all the things right, and you can still have the vital energy that you need because you are nourishing your spirit, your soul, whatever you want to call it. Pick your favorite word. And we're going to talk about these six things. And I will tell you now, when I incorporated these six things into my regular routine, my regular livelihood, habits, morning and evening, it's not perfect every day, but once I started doing these six things, it made a mountain of difference. It didn't matter if I was pregnant and exhausted or working and exhausted, like it still sustained me because I realized, oh my gosh, I have a freaking spirit, a freaking soul that responds to the energy it needs. And this is how we do it. You're going to raise trust in yourself. You're going to have greater faith in your higher power, and you're going to feel alive again. The first one is you need to fuel your spirit for growth. Our body didn't come here to grow and die, but our soul came here to grow. Because it came from within, it's here now, and it's going beyond. That progression alone means growth. And the very thing that keeps your spirit growing is your passion, is your heart's desire, is the downloads and callings you feel within you, the inspiration and intuitional pings that you get on how to grow, what to do. And if you are not tuning into those things, your spirit can't grow. It's constantly saying, Sarah, I'm trying to progress here. I'm trying to pull in the flow of the things we want in order to boost our life, to move forward. But you're not giving it to me. You're not doing it for me. And at the very core of you, that's what makes you alive. When's the last time you did something that lit you up? When's the last time you followed through on an idea or a prompting and you had freaking fun? Without planning, without... You've got to make sure you tune into and strengthen that connection to your source, because that is the very lifeblood of where your soul, your spirit gets your energy. That looks a little bit different for everyone. The second thing you need to do is you need to have regular conversations with your higher power. That doesn't necessarily mean prayer or chanting or recited phrases. It is just simply having a communication with your higher power. Taking the time to have conversations as if your higher power were in the room with you, just like some other person. Because it literally is. Your higher power, your source, is here, there, everywhere, all throughout, in between, and can't go away. If you can hear the planes flying, I live by the base. Hopefully they won't be too loud. You can simply call it God, call it Source, call it Gaia, your higher self, whatever. Just talk about how you feel. Tell them what's on your mind. Tell them what's going on. What do you need help with? Ask them questions. You don't have to go throughout your day necessarily like talking to nothing. This can just be in your heart. Pondering. Pondering is just talking in your heart, in my mind. You can do it out loud, like you're talking to a best friend. You can speak into an app on your phone that has audio recording, because it will last, or it'll transcribe it, and you can send that energy up to someone who absolutely did hear it, and not necessarily send that to a physical person. When you're getting ready for the day, you can, when you're looking in the mirror, you're looking at your higher self, you're looking at your source, tell them what's going on. What are you feeling? What are you seeking for? You don't have to do this for hours and hours on end, but what it's going to do is it's helping you open up your mind to the ideas that need to come in, or the impressions that you need to have, because it's strengthening a relationship that already exists. You just kept closing the door, or you made it only one-sided. This creates a space so that it becomes a friendship, becomes something you can turn to on a regular basis. So the second thing was having conversations with your higher power. You can do that more formally as prayer, but I mean it as in just you and I were talking, listening, communicating, sharing a message of what's on my mind. You can put your comments down on what's on your mind, and creating that connection. If you feel like what you've been doing in the past isn't creating a connection, try this. Okay, number 3 is I want you to learn how to meditate until you start to love it. Now, if you're new to meditating, do not overthink it. Don't freak out. Sarah, you're going to turn me into a monk. No, I used to think meditating was only for like little bald guys on a mountaintop, chanting and bells and just zoning out. I did not realize the true purpose and benefit behind it that I can't even go to right now. It's not about completely freeing your mind of thoughts or stresses or worries. That is just a wonderful benefit that will come. It's just about finding a place so that your mind and heart is calm, Sleep, I learned this recently, sleep is for resting our bodies. Meditation is for resting and healing our mind. Our body heals and rests during sleep. Our mind, spirit, soul rests during meditation. That way, when this is all cleared up, this connection between your head and your heart starts to come back, starts to clean up, is more solid, is more clear. And you can't do that with just self-care. You can't heal your mind's and heart's ability to connect so that your spirit is more fully nourished with both of these wonderful strength centers in your body. If you don't allow everything to rest, it can't heal or grow either. Even plants that go through the seasons, the trees, the flowers, they go through a winter. And I don't believe it's necessarily everything dying. Everything's resting too. Storing up and gearing up for spring because they got a lot of work to do. It's the same thing with your mind. If you are brand new to meditating, I recommend an app. Here, let me type it in here. If you are on Facebook or YouTube, you'll see this. If you're on Instagram, just pay attention. It's called Headspace. Headspace is like I think the icon is still orange. It's a very, very simple app. The free version gives you 10 free meditations that are 10 minutes long. And the guy, I forget his name, he's got a wonderful accent. I think he's Australian. And he just talks you through simple things to do. You just put your headphones on, you turn it on, and you listen, and you just simply start to meditate. This is how I first started years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago, was with this app. Another great app is called Calm, and it's like a bluish purple one. It's a little bit more elusive and surreal, but if you are super beginner, use Headspace. It's not complicated. You won't feel weird. It's just like you're sitting there and someone's talking you through a simple process to do inside your head to let go. Meditate until you love it. If you want more recommendations on other meditations I use that I love, that go longer and deeper and have other benefits, send me a message. I'll let you know a bunch of my favorites. But do this at least 4 or 5 days a week for a month and tell me what it does for you, because you're going to feel these effects. Calm your mind so you can connect with your heart so that your spirit comes out and grows and heals. It takes a little time. I know, I get it. But you will get to a place where, oh my gosh, going to meditate is like what you look forward to for the day. I meditated for an hour this morning and I didn't want to stop because I loved what it was doing. I loved how it was feeling. I loved where it was going. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have so many things to do. I had to force myself to kind of stop. You will get there. So that third thing was meditate until you love it. The fourth thing to help heal your spirit and grow your soul is hold conversations in your heart. Now, what I mean by this is it's a little bit different than what I spoke about earlier with having conversations with your higher power. This is if you've got something going on in your life, you've got a challenge, a situation, something that is occupying your energy. You don't want to stress about it. Of course, we don't want to put out a bad vibe and give and stay in the energy that's not beneficial. That's anxiety. What this is whatever you are wanting to ponder. Say it's the key thing that you were talking to your higher power about this morning. The biggest thing on your plate for the day. You boil it down to a word or a phrase, and you simply hold it in your heart. Hold it in your space with the highest possible good you know is going to come from it. You just hold it there. Set the intention. Okay, I am concerned about little Johnny and what he's going through. Your son, say it is. And you don't know what to do to help him. You have that conversation with your higher power, and then you take, okay, loving and supporting little Johnny, and you hold it here and just for safekeeping, okay, I'm going to get support about this thing today, and you hold it here, and you're going to let go and not worry about fixing all the problems around it or trying to come up with the solution because you've had the conversation. You've meditated to clear your mind and your heart connection. So you hold it here. It's your spiritual center full of love, knowing, okay, this solution is going to come to me. The ideas I need are going to come to me. And you are showing that you're going to trust your spirit to bring those connections to you. If it's an idea or an image you can't boil down into a couple of words, imagine it, picture it, and then absorb it into your heart. What would it feel like? What would the emotions or warm feelings feel like to you if you did this? If you literally took a challenge in your life and instead stuck it right here at the forefront of your brain where it's constantly beating at you behind your eyes, but if you stuck it here where it's warm and nurtured and loved, because you know good is going to come from it, can you imagine what difference that would feel like? And how your spirit would, oh my gosh, Sarah trusts me. I need to bring her some solutions for this. That way it's not shut away, they're not forgotten, and they're not turned into an anxiety spiral. I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you have questions about that. The fifth thing you're going to do is I want you to add your own personal version of prayer to your meditation. Sarah, you said this wasn't going to be a religious talk. It's not. When I say prayer, I don't care what your definition of prayer is. When I say prayer, adding prayer to your meditation, I mean whatever that looks like to you, to communicate from a meditative space with your higher power. Now, this is different than number 2, where you're having a conversation like a friend with your higher power. This is, okay, you've meditated, you are in the spiritual zone, your soul is on fire, you're healing, it's all good. You don't want to leave it because you love it. And at the end of that, you use that state of being you're in and you say, okay, Source, okay, God. You ask your single question or you state your concern or the thing that you want guidance about. And that is simply your prayer. It can be a thought. It can be a question. It can be you literally kneeling on the floor with your arms folded in prayer. It could be you bent over your rug facing east and you chant something very particular that is special to you. I don't care what your prayer looks like. But if you add it to the end of your meditation, you are in the perfect state of soul to get the answer you seek, or to receive the guidance, or feel the love, or be just nourished about whatever is going on in your life. Okay, just looking at my notes here. For me, I don't say a full-fledged recited prayer with the script or anything like that. I simply meditate, and then when I hit the end of my meditation, I look to my source and I say, okay, what do I need to do today for my highest good? Sometimes it's specific about something I've visualized or meditated on, but I usually just say, what do I need to do today that's for my highest good? That is my prayer. And then I get my answer. Sometimes I don't get an answer. Sometimes I get an answer before I'm even done answering the question. But you're combining different aspects of tapping into your spirit to help it heal and help it connect so that you can follow your heart. Okay, the last thing I think I am like totally out of. I have 6 here, but I think there's really 7. Bonus 7. The next one is to help heal your spirit. Is I want you to study written words that align with your source. So that could mean teachings from your spiritual leaders. That could mean a certain personal growth person that you love their teachings and it enlightens you all of the time. It could be past historical texts from ancient historians or philosophers or religious leaders that really resonate with you. It could be a combination of all those things. It could be modern talks or podcasts or conversations you can listen to the recordings of that you resonate with, that align with your beliefs, that you feel that spiritual connection with. And you don't have to single out just like a specific religion or a certain demographic or type of written words. I have a combination of different things. Sometimes I listen to LDS talks. Sometimes I read, I don't have my book right here. Sometimes I'm reading things from Buddha or Lord Krishna, or listening to podcasts from spiritual leaders, like with words from Gandhi. And so I incorporate lots of different things. And then I also read versions of scripture, the Bible, or whatever it is for you. Ancient, modern, Christian or not, it doesn't matter. But if you feel nourished in your spirit by those written words, because it resonates with you, the values that it teaches align with your values, keep feeding your soul. It's like fertilizer. It's like fertilizer for your soul. Would you rather have all of the garbage that CNN puts out, constantly negative news, like playing in the background 24/7, or would you have messages that give hope and peace and love about who you are as a human being playing in the background? Or that you're reading, right? When you're scrolling, are you just reading, again, constantly negative news? Or are you filling your feed with messages from those that inspire you? What are you putting in? Because if your heart don't feel it, it can reject it. Your brain's going to absorb everything. But if you want your spirit to truly connect with what you are feeding it, that is your spiritual diet. That's your spiritual diet. Okay. If you want ideas on things that have enlightened or that I love to listen to or read, let me know. I'll send you some tips. Okay, the last one here is spend time in sacred spaces or sacred places. And sacred, it doesn't matter how you define sacred. In fact, tell me how you define sacred. Send me a message here on Instagram or on Facebook. Tell me what you define as sacred. But you don't necessarily, if you're turned off by the word sacred, don't worry. It could be spend time in your peaceful place. Spend time in a place that just lights you up. Spend time in a place that you feel like you can shut out all the crap and your soul and spirit connects with that. It could be on a mountaintop. It can be in nature, sitting at the base of a tree. It could be in a temple or a church of your chosen religious practice. This could be a significant historical building that is just beautiful to you. This could be on the floor playing with your kids in your own home. It's a place when you go there, it automatically becomes a spa for your soul. When you go get a massage or a facial or hopefully everyone does. I encourage everyone to do those things. I try to do on a regular basis. And when you're there and you're just immersed in that environment, you can't not relax. or it's impossible to not just rest and heal and feel comfort. That is what a sacred space does for your spirit. That is what the environment has a huge influence on you. Sometimes when I'm hiking, I'll just feel kind of a pull to touch a certain rock or to touch a certain tree and just pause and think, what have you seen? What have you experienced? Because there is energy there. There is that's older, well, as old, I beg to argue that we're as old as everything here. But that just gives you so much more than we restrict ourselves. We have our phone and our computer and our electric lights and the PVC in the walls that is killing us, and the chemicals in the paint, and the rubber in our shoes so we can't even absorb the energy from the earth when we walk on the grass. Like we live in a world that blocks our ability to feel those energies consistently. Now, Sarah, I think you know that energy is everywhere and you're connected to everything no matter where you are in the universe. Yes, I agree. But are you attuned and that healed and that strong with your spirit and your energy to know that you can affect something 1,000 miles away? I know I'm not there yet. If you are, fantastic. But you get my meaning. Put yourself in sacred spaces because that is where your spirit is guaranteed to heal. It's guaranteed to be nourished because the environment is everything. Okay. So, for a long time in my life, my higher power I referred to him as my Heavenly Father. For you, it may just simply be God, nature, earth, your higher self, your intuition, doesn't matter. The universe. Now I feel like all of those terms are the same and everything, and yet the specific term doesn't matter. Because I know that what's in me is the same that's in you, and it all originated from the same place. And whether that's from one God or a million gods or just straight up energy, to me it doesn't matter. Because I believe just like there are billions of us here on the planet that can affect ourselves and each other with the energy we were born with, that we tap into and have access to, that same thing exists without, that we can't see. And so when I started putting these things into place, because I felt kind of lost, I felt broken, I felt betrayed, I thought, why I was so caught up in my head that I didn't realize that my freaking soul needed to heal, that it needed nourishment, that it needed things to help it feel vital. Like I was working out, I was eating well, I was like gluten and dairy free. I mean, it felt great physically, but not necessarily spiritually or emotionally, and there was still that freaking drain, and I'm like, what is going on? So when I started doing these things, it is 6 things. I'll say them again for you. Having regular conversations with your higher power like a friend to develop that connection. Meditating until you love it, because that connection, clearing out the muck, allows your spirit to come back in. There's another plane flying around. If you can hear it, just politely ignore it. Holding the conversation in your heart that you had with your higher power on that main key thing that you would love assistance with, but you have trust that it's going to resolve. Add prayer to your meditation until you love it. I'll say it again, meditate till you love it. Study written words from that you resonate with along the same values of whatever your higher power is, and then spending time in sacred spaces. Do these things every single week. Every single week. I'm not asking you to go to the temple every single day. I'm not asking you to become an expert uh, uh, researcher with scripture. I'm not asking you to become a monk. I'm not asking you to talk out loud to your source everywhere you go. People might lock you up for that. I'm not asking you to literally, tattoo something on your heart to keep it there. I'm just simply saying these ingredients allow your spirit and your soul to rest, to recuperate, to grow, to reconnect. And it puts you in a space for that vital energy to come back. Because you had it when you were born. You still have it now. You've just blocked it all off, or you've forgotten, or maybe you never knew how to tune into your spirit. Okay. Do you guys have any questions? Let me know. Let me look back at my notes, make sure I just start with one of these or two. Go through them until you find a rhythm or until you find what works for you. Let me know how it helps. Because the more and more I live my life, and I'm older than I look, the more I find that if my soul isn't nourished, it don't matter what I eat or how well I eat or how often I exercise or what supplements I take or all of that other stuff that supposedly gives us energy. Sure it does, but if your soul is fatigued, this is how you re-energize it. This is how you reinvigorate it. This is how you reconnect to it. Because it's literally all you've got. Take care of it. Okay. Love you all. Monday. Make it a great day. I don't care that it's almost dinner time here. The day's not over. Let me know if you have questions about this. There is if you want to read more about this, here's a link to a whole blog I did on this exact topic where I give a bunch more resources and things like that. Thanks. Love you all.